All right, let's start with the bell ringer. Jamie is sewing her own dress for the school dance. She bought 2 1/4 yards of fabric. The cost was $10. What was the cost per yard? All right, Wesley, what'd you do?
So I divided 10 by 2 1/4, and I got 4.4 repeated, so I rounded that to $4.44.
How did you get 4.4 repeated when you used 10 divided by 2 1/4? Which number did you change? Did you change any of these numbers?
I changed 2 1/4 to 2.25.
Okay. And you said you got 4.4 repeated. And since it's a money question, you settled with what answer? $4.44. Very good. Since it was asking for cost per yard, what is that considered? Unit rate. Very good. Congrats, Micah. All right, second bell ringer. We are identifying the table as proportional or not proportional. What ratio would we use, Cannon?
Well, you said ratio, right?
Yes, what ratio do we use to prove if something's proportional or not? Y over X. Okay, so you Y over X, the 4 pairs of numbers, and Juju, what'd you find? All right, what is that 6 known as?
The unit. The constant proportionality.
The unit rate or the constant of proportionality, which is what variable?
K.
K. All right, so since there was a constant, it's proportional. What equation represents this table, Jimmy?
Y
Y equals
equals 6x.
6x. Very good. All right, let's let Jonah back in. Okay, on your desks, you have 2 packets because we're going to be working on percents. The first packet has vocabulary stapled to it. That's the one I want you to have out first. Now, if you are one of the people who like to color code things because it helps you remember things better, you will need 3 different colors today. Okay? If you're one of my people who need to have everything nice and coded for yourselves. And I'll be doing that on the board, so you just want to keep your colors consistent between your notes and your work. On the packet with the vocabulary, I want you to turn to the 3rd page. It should look like what's on the screen. This packet you are going to need every day in this class. It's got a lot of information for all of the different percent type problems that we're going to be working on. But what we're going to start with today is just some review of finding the percent of a number. I am certain you guys did this last year. I know for a fact that you've been doing it in the bell ringers because I wrote the bell ringers.
Congrats.
I know, thank you very much. We can say that next week if we beat Buffalo. Otherwise, we come and hang our heads in shame. All right. We've got the percent proportion, and that's where we do the cross multiplying, but we also have the percent equation. Now, when we work these problems, we're going to find we either like proportions better or we like equations better. We're just going to drift to one or the other. But I need you to be able to identify and write and work both of them. Okay? When you take a quiz, which happens to be this upcoming Thursday, that's my Halloween present to you. Trick or treat. That's your trick. Be good. I might have a treat too. But one of the questions that will be on it, it'd be like a percent question, and it'd be like, which proportion would you use to solve the problem? Or which equation would you use? So we have to be able to set these up. Okay? Now, what we've got on the proportion, and this is where I go into my personal color coding, we have part over whole. Should be familiar to us. The part, one of the key words, and this is the one that we're going to use the most today, is the word is. That's going to identify our part. And then the whole, the word of is going to identify it. And then we have the percent. Obviously, it's the only number with a percent sign. No percent sign, it does not go over the 100. Okay? And the equation, we start with the whole, and its key word is of. And in math, what does of tend to indicate?
Division.
No.
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So in our equation, the number representing the whole is multiplying. And it is multiplying to the percent. Now, the box is important in regards to the percent. When we're working the equation, your percent has to be converted to a decimal by dividing it by 100. So the 100's in the proportion and the 100 is still present in the equation. And the last part we have is the part. And its keyword is is. What does is indicate? 2 plus 3 is 5. Equals. Okay, so with our equation, your part is your equal sign. Okay? Okay, so keep this next to you, especially my ones who are color coding, because you're going to want to keep your part, whole, and percent colors consistent. And I want you to go to the next packet that I gave you. It's stapled. It did not get printed front or back, unfortunately. But on the front of it, it says percent problems, and it's got 12 questions. You should have gotten a smaller packet that looks like this. But yours is not colored yet. May not be. I colored mine.
We color.
We color in math. It's great. Okay, here's what we're going to do in regards to the percent problems. We are going to do the odd numbers first. And this is probably going to drive the people crazy when we're doing this. So I may have to like flip-flop some slides around in a second. I'm going to have to pause the video. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the odd numbers on the left as proportions. That way we're good with identifying the pieces, setting them up. We're all masters at solving these. And then on the right side with the even numbers, we're going to focus on the equation. Okay? And that is the plan here. I'm going to pause real quick. Okay, so hopefully this records well and not crazy too much. All right, we're going to start with question number 1. And question number 1, I want us to focus on the proportion. Odd numbers, proportions, even numbers, equations. On number 1, the percent of 29, what percent of 29 is 3? If we go back to the proportion, we started with a part. What was the key word for part? Is identifies the part, which means of identifies what, Micah?
The whole.
The whole. So I have the part, which is the is, the whole, which identifies with of, and then you have the percent over 100. Let's start with the percent. Which number in the question has the percent sign?
Is
There is no percent sign. So what are we looking for?
The percent.
We're looking for the percent. It says what percent, so that's my missing part. All right. The part is going to be with the word is. Which number is identified with is?
3.
The 3, very good. And then the whole is identified with the of,
29.
the 29.
Yeah.
Very good.
29.
All right, so I know which piece goes where. Create the proportion, and we end up with 3 over 29 is equal to percent
Over 100.
over 100. Very good.
See, I already had that.
That was beautiful. So proud. All right, we are going to cross multiply this.
Oh. See, that's what I didn't do.
Let's practice.
Wait, what?
How do you cross multiply?
That's 29%.
Just multiply right across.
This is 3 over 29 equals x over 100.
So, okay.
Oh, it's like,
It's like that stuff we did in this last unit where we were cross multiplying the sides. Yes. All right.
3 over 29 times 100.
Would be a way to do it, yes.
Oh, I already got that.
Yeah, you're good.
I did that earlier.
All right, so who can explain the cross multiplying part to me, Mary Lady?
You do 3 times 100, which is 300, equals 29x. Then you divide 300 by 29.
Okay, so 3 times 100, 29 times x, and I love the detailed way that you're doing this just because I know you know what you're doing.
Ha ha ha.
And then you said you're going to divide by 29. And I'm hoping we took time to read the directions, since the directions say solve each problem. Round to the nearest tenth or tenth of a percent.
Exactly.
So when we put this fabulous thing in the calculator and we get a wonderful decimal, we have to round it to how much?
10.3.
10.3. And was this a percent or not a percent?
It was a percent.
It was the percent, so it needs a percent sign.
10.3.
And then you just do 29 divided by 3 times 100.
How about 3 divided by 29 times 100?
Exactly.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come
We'll
on,
get to
Joe.
that in a minute. You're good.
I've already said that. So.
Okay, let's go to question 3. I'll have this posted before I leave today. I'm going to upload it during 5th period. All right, our next one, we have what percent of 55 is 34? We go back to our proportion. We have part over whole and percent over 100. And we need to find our pieces. Is there a percent given in the problem? No. So what percent is my variable? Which number is the part?
34.
How do you know?
Less of 55.
Okay. And that 55 is the whole. What proportion do we get set up with when we place in our known values?
34 over 55.
Okay.
What's it called?
X.
Percent over
34 over 55 equals the missing percent over 100. And we're going to cross multiply.
62%.
Nope, you did not round it correctly. I am sorry.
What?
Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
No, I want to.
Jason, how do you cross multiply this? You need to phone a friend.
I'm a friend.
Aaron,
With the phone.
Aaron, how do we cross multiply to find the answer, please? Or how did you cross multiply?
I did 55 times 100.
Unfortunately not. Cross multiply is going diagonally, so
34 times 100 and 55 times x.
34 times 100, 55 times x. Okay, so you have 3,400 equals 55x. What did you do from there? You've got a fabulous thing set up here. But where do we go from it next? Oh, you want to phone a friend? You want to keep the circle going in your group?
I'm a friend.
I choose Wesley.
Wesley, you've been phoned.
He doesn't pick up.
What do we do now?
Okay, so now, because since you multiply 55 with x to get 3,400, you divide by 55 to get x.
Very good. And what is our missing amount rounded to the nearest tenths place? Emerson.
61.8.
61.8%. Very good.
Can percent be repeating?
Yes, our percent can be repeating.
But it was repeating.
But this is also a rounding. It's telling us to round. If we don't get done yet. All right. Let's go to question number 5. We're sticking with the odd numbers. So I want us to focus on the proportion right now. All right, our proportion. We have part over whole, percent over 100. All right, let's start with that percent. Do they give us a percent?
Yes.
What is it, Cannon?
28.
Thank you, 28. All right, now we have a 63. Why is the 63 on the bottom?
Because it's the whole.
It is the whole. Of indicates the whole being 63, and the is what we don't know. So that's going to be the variable. So is what is in pink, so that's going to be my variable. Over the 63 that's in green. Your percent is over 100. And now you're ready to solve for P.
This is actually making
Who wants to do the solutioning of this?
I can do it.
Chase.
28 times 62.
28 times 63. Divided by 100. What'd you get for your answer? Rounded to the nearest tenths place.
17.6.
Very good.
All is wrong.
17.6 is the missing part. Very good. Yes, ma'am.
Like, is there like specific ways that are preferred? Like when you write down how to multiply, like you can do a dot or one of those like X things or parentheses. Like, does it matter?
It doesn't. I would just strongly recommend staying away from just an X. Like if you do an X and then put a line through it to make it look more like a star, I would go that route, or just a dot or the parentheses. But if you use just an X, our next unit, once we start getting into variables and expressions and equations, it starts to get a little bit more confusing. Yes.
What I did too.
It's our next unit. I love it. It's fun.
Wait, starting.
More coloring. Next Friday. It's fun and fabulous. All right, let's go to number 7. 1 is what percent of 52.6? And we're still focusing in on the proportion. So we have part over whole equals percent over 100. And does anything have the percent sign? Nope, so it is the missing part. Which of these is the part? The 1 and the whole?
52.6.
Good. I like this question because it rearranged all your pieces for you. But it still keeps the is and the of prevalent in the problem. What proportion would you set up this time with numbers now that we've identified everything? Jonah.
1 divided by 52.6.
All right, 1 over 52.6.
And then the percentage over 100.
Very good. Yeah, we got our cross multiplying. Micah?
1 times 100.
Okay.
And then 52 times X. 52.6X.
Gotcha.
And then 100. 1 times 100 equals 100.
You.
Divided by 52.6.
Correct.
I got 1.9.
1.9%.
Yeah.
Good.
Wait, Miss Mom,
Yes, sir.
is it okay if you do it a different way?
Like 1 times 100 divided by 52.6.
I didn't
Okay.
do-
Shortcutting, like I've said this whole time, that shortcut is fine as long as there's only one variable present.
Okay.
You will be getting to proportions where there are two variables in there. They could both be x's, but they're going to be in two different locations in the proportion. So knowing these steps here is going to prepare you for that. If you're not writing it every time, I totally get it. Okay? But what everybody's ultimately doing is just this one side. 1 times 100 is 100, divided by 52.6, I have my answer. But we have to remember that there's two sides of the problem. Okay? It's just practice. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording and give you guys a couple minutes to do 9 and 11. Keep the proportion going on this. We'll move to equation in a minute. All right, we're going to question number 9. Part over whole, percent over 100. What proportion did you set up on this one, Emerson?
X over 73 equals 4 over 10. I mean,
Very-
4 over 100.
Very good. The part over 73. And then 4 over 100. Very good. How to solve this in whichever method you chose. So I know we all like to solve these our own way. It's beautiful. Cannon?
So what I did 4 divided by 100 times 73,
Okay.
and I got 2.9.
That works. I know a lot of people in here are probably just doing it this way. So you got the same answer. And what did you say your answer was?
2.9.
And that is correct.
Good job.
Very good. All right. Let's go to number 11. On number 11, 79% of 67 miles is what? I'm looking for the proportion. Tristan.
Wait. Oh, wait. I got it. X over 67.
Okay.
And then 79% over 100.
Very good. 67 was the whole, 79 is the percent. We're missing the part. How to solve this? Jimmy?
79 times 67 divided by 100.
I'll take it. 79 times 67 divided by 100. And what did you get, sir?
I got 57.93.
I'm concerned that your 57 should actually be 52.
What about 57?
If you would just double check. Okay, wait a moment. All right, so 52.93 needs to be rounded to the 10th place. So we want to round it to what value? 52.9 is correct. Very good. Okay, so that gives us 6 examples of using the proportion. Okay, and those were all the odd numbers. I want us now to go to the other side, and we're going to do the even numbers. All right, let's go to the right side of the paper. We're going to do the even numbers. And on the even numbers, I want us focusing just on the equation. So no proportion. We're going to look at the equation.
Should you still your paper?
Yeah, Miss Godown needs to use it for a little bit. Okay, now the equation that you're given in your packet says to take the whole and times it by the percent. But what is it that we have to do with the percent? Put it over 100. So I'm modifying our equation just a little bit to percent over 100. We multiply it by the whole, and that's going to equal out to be the part. Now,
So it's like proportions of
kind of a little bit.
proportionality.
Yeah,
It's like you can check it the same way.
kind of maybe. But this question's asking us to find the percent. You've had bell ringers where I've asked you for the percent. Okay? And you didn't use anything that looked like this. You did something completely different, but you focused on the 21 and the 33.5. You focused on the part and the whole. Can anybody kind of think of how they solved this problem in their own way, but it wasn't with a proportion?
21 times 32.
Not times.
21 divided by 33.5 times. Wait, no.
Yes.
Times 100.
Times 100. There you go. Okay. When you're looking for the percent, the common thing that I see in the class is to take the part, divide it by the whole, times that decimal by 100, and you're left with the percent. You guys essentially took your equation and just rewrote it so it would equal what you wanted it to equal. That's good. Okay? You're one step into a horrible unit in 8th grade. Okay? But you're already able to do it. You just don't know you're doing it yet.
Oh,
I know, it's so cool.
wow.
I know, isn't it crazy?
Like,
Y'all.
what's the horrible unit?
Rewriting equations to equal something else. But you do it naturally.
Wow.
So on this question, we've got the part is 21, the whole is 33.5, and you're trying to find the percent. So 21 divided by 33.5 times 100 is going to give us our missing percent.
1,000.
It is not 1,000.
Did you make right?
Ronald Reagan, preferably.
Ronald Reagan.
Can I just stop?
Who is that?
All right, so 21, the part,
Roman.
divided by the whole, times 100 will give us what percent rounded to the nearest 10th place? Emerson?
62.7.
Congrats.
Very good. 62.7%. When we do questions 2, 4, and 6, I would take good notes on 2, 4, and 6 because they're each finding something different. Question 2 focuses on finding the percentage. Right? Question 4 is focusing in on finding the part. The part is the what that's missing. The 78 is the whole, and the 41 is the percent. And I want to do the equation. And our basic equation is the percent over 100 times the whole is equal to the part. So percent times whole equals part. Nice and color coded. So when I go to plug my numbers in, I have 41 over 100 times 78 is going to give me the part. Why did we put the 41 over 100?
Because it's a percent.
And it needs to be converted to a decimal. So 41% in its decimal form is what?
0.41.
0.41.
4100.
4100 times 78 is going to give us the part.
And that is
And
31.98.
No,
32.
It rounds to 32. That is correct. All right, so question 2, found a missing percent. Question 4, found a missing part. Now we're going to go to question 6. Question 6 is going to find the missing whole. So we'll start with our equation. White this out. All right, so we know our equation is percent over 100 times the whole equals the part. My percent is 58. The whole is the what, and the part, correct. So once I can identify the pieces and plug them in, I'm good to go. So 58 over 100 times the whole is 63.4. That 58 over 100 is what? It's 0.58 times W equals 63.4. Now, if you're able to go from the equation immediately down to that third row, that's fine. Just means you've got it in your head that that percent's got to be divided by 100 to become a decimal. But how do we solve for the missing piece in a multiplication problem? Liza Jane.
I'm confused.
Which part, dear?
Do you divide?
Oh, never mind. It's a different formula.
You figured it out? How do we find the missing part in a multiplication problem, Emerson? You divide. So 63.4 is going to be divided by the 0.58. And if we want to be technical, both sides do. And we find out that the whole is equal to 63.4 divided by 0.58. And you're going to round it, because if you don't round it, you didn't read the directions. Black? 109.3. Very good.
Jonah's lost.
I got it wrong.
Jonah's in the lost and found.
Hey, we're just starting the equation part, okay? The equation for a lot of us is the new stuff. All right? So, and that's fine. Okay? Let's just kind of recap just a second. Question number 2, if you took down all of your notes and all the steps, it helped you find a missing percent. Okay? Question number 4 helped us solve for the missing part. Number 6 finds us how to do a missing whole. So I have an example for each one. Now we're just going to practice them. Okay? So hopefully as we keep seeing and practicing, it's going to start connecting. We just got to be patient. And then once we work on this stuff more tomorrow, it's going to keep getting a little bit easier. Okay? And what I tend to see is we start out going, I love the proportion, to, wow, the equation's a whole lot easier. Okay? So just give it time to soak in. All right. Let's go to number 8. On number 8, what's missing? The percent. Okay. If the percent is missing, how can I rewrite my equation to find for the percent? And this would help to go back to question 2. Micah? You're going proportion.
What am I supposed to be doing?
I want equation. We got to practice the equation. Liza Jane.
I don't even know what that means.
You would do 50. Or do you want
whichever you want.
You did 15 divided by 38 times 100.
Good. She said part divided by whole times 100 will give us the percent, except she gave me the numbers. And she identified the part as the 15, the whole is the 38, and the percent was completely missing. 15 divided by 38 times 100 is how much? Liza Jane, finish it out.
39.5 over 39.37.
15 divided by 38 times 100. Yeah, 39.5. And it is a percent, so we do need to make sure that we put the percent sign with it.
I got it right.
Huh?
I got it right.
You got it right?
I got it correct.
Okay, so using the examples you have and using your groups, I'm going to give you about 3 to 4 maybe minutes on questions 10 and 12, but use the equation.
Oh no, I don't like equations.
You're going to have to get used to it. You'll be all right. All right, let's go to question 10. I want to know the equation that you wrote, and then we'll go to the answer. Juju, what equation did you write?
I did 12 over 100 times 17.5.
Very good. Finding the part. What was that 12 over 100 going to become, Mary Liddy?
0.12 times 17.5.
0.12 times 17.5 is going to give us the part. And what is the answer rounded to the nearest 10th place? Brissa. Ma'am? 2.1. Very good.
That's a very racial
All right, let's go to question 12. I want to know the equation that you wrote for number 12. Liza Jane.
0.59
0.59 times
times 14.
14. Where did your 0.59 come from?
59 over 100, and then you divide it, and then you get 6.
Perfect. What's the answer, Abigail?
8.3.
8.3. Very good. Okay, listen up. The back 12 questions, 13 through 24. The odds need to be proportions. The evens need to be equations. We're starting class off with these tomorrow before we get into word problems. So make sure we're solid.
Okay.
The left on are odds. They need to be proportions. The right are the evens. They need to be equations.
Use the answers also.
Answers would be a great idea.
Like a keep knowledge.
Thank you. Yes, it does become homework.
I didn't write anything about you.
You know how much time I put into this?
Well, try to do a few of each side.
I have splash.
Go do
Just
your
a
work,
couple
son.
on each side so that you can show me that you know what you're doing.